Here is our pandemic project. It was last year that the supply line in the upstairs bathroom broke, and now we have this lovely ceiling. But it's a little cracked, a little saggy, a little crappy. So today's the day. She's coming down. Two of the beams were cracked or starting to sag, so they were jacked up, yep, and then reinforced with new beams, and then furring strips were installed to make up the difference, because if you could see, that ceiling is very thick, it's about an inch thick. Installed a new light box, and then insulation. It's important that the insulation have backing to it, because it cannot touch the Woodhaven Armstrong system. And now we are getting ready to chalk off the lines for the ceiling tracks. So I will come back when that's all done. I forgot to film, so quickly before we start working on the grid, we did the chalked out the lines. So these are they 16 or 18 did we do for the
24 inches.
24 inches for the spacing for where the grids are gonna go, and then these lines right here are marking our joists. These ones
are the ones that are 24 inches away from each
are
other.
24 inches away, because you can do 18 or 24.
24 or less, no more than 24
No more than
inches.
24 inches.
And then from any wall,
2 inches.
2 inches. So there's 2 inches from here, and then I measured 2 inches out from here, which so happens to be 24 inches, which is good.
We got
But
lucky.
then over here, so this is a 24-inch span, and then I had to go 2 inches away from this wall. So this one between here is actually less than 24 inches. It's about 15 and a half inches right there.
So,
Which
is fine.
Yeah. And so when you put this track up on here, we're just screwing into each of these
Where the joists
where
are.
the joists go, and then you just overlap, like you don't even have to cut them. You put one here, and then you put another.
You can put another
here,
one that
overlapping about
goes
a
right
foot,
there and over.
and then go there.
You don't have to cut them so they're butt to butt.
Yeah, you can just overlap,
them
and stagger them slightly.
So we'll do that, and then when we install them too, it's important to make sure that they are level. So if they're not, you have to loosen up the screws and shim them. And then once the grid is up, we can start with the actual ceiling.
Yep.
All right, next step. Okay, we've finished about half of our ceiling, and I thought I would come in and say a couple of tips, just so you don't do the same things that we did. Very first thing that you need to know, when you do your calculations to figure out your border board or your starter board, make sure you include a half-inch gap over by the wall. They don't tell you to do that in the instructions. We had to call and ask if we needed to include that half-inch measurement. So make sure that you account for that half-inch away from the wall. So you figure out your measurements based on this formula that is in the instructions, and we were able to figure out what our first board size needed to be. You screw that first board directly into the stuff, so you want to drill it and then screw it in. And then after that, we started to go, but then we realized we weren't staggering our seams well enough. So you can't just like do one full one partial one, and then start a full one on the other side, a partial one, because you'll end up with basically like 2 lines. We're new to this, so I just want to say these things in case someone needs these little tips. So we took it all out, which luckily comes out quickly, so that we could stagger our seams better, so it looks more like a hardwood floor. So there we are. The reason why we're only halfway is because we decided to stop before we hit the light fixture. We are fortunate in the fact that it happened to line up exactly a 1/4 of an inch away from the light fixture, which is what the instructions say. They say 1/4 of an inch away from any fixtures, columns, or obstructions. So we have 1/4 inch, so we'll cut that board tomorrow and then hopefully finish up the rest of it. And there's all of our wonderful shims. So we're making great progress. It looks great. Once we were on a roll, it went very quickly. As long as you're track is level. Hopefully you won't have any issues. But, oh, and one other quick tip that we found useful is don't just put one of these clips on. Put like 3 or 4 on so that you don't have to keep stopping to add clips. It's just worked out better for us. So I think that's it. Hopefully we'll finish soon. It's officially been a year since we installed our ceiling, and I completely forgot that we filmed it. Sorry, my dog's eating if you can hear. For reviews, so I thought, hey, I should probably show a follow-up. So here it is. This is our finished Woodhaven ceiling and the trim that we installed afterwards. And then obviously once the trim was installed, had to paint all the rest of the trim in the kitchen. But you can see how it just kind of floats together on the ceiling. Looks like a hardwood floor. We get tons of compliments. Here it is from this angle. So right there is where the hole was in our old ceiling. And it's all gone now. We also did a couple little other updates while we were doing this. We put in these shelves to display some of our mid-century stuff. We got a new fridge, new dishwasher, you know, typical COVID, we're stuck at home updates. So there it is. I don't really have anything else to add. We love it. It made our kitchen look so much better. I'll get a great big like after photo because our kitchen isn't exactly as clean as it should be, but maybe I can do this. There we go. So yeah, works great. Highly recommend this product. Super easy to install, super durable. You can clean it easily. No complaints whatsoever. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. Like I said, it's been a year, so we may not remember everything perfectly, but we will try our best to help out.